Well, you guys asked for it by popular demand. What is happening, Zack Snyder fans, Netflix fans, movie fans alike? Welcome back to the channel. I am DL, and this is another edition of my life. And I have taken over movie madness and entertainment, and I have taken over Kingdom of Nerds because I'm not going to be the only one talking about this. But we are back talking about another Zack Snyder film. the guy we love to hate and hate to love.
You can't keep getting away with it.
You can't get away from the Snyder isms, man. But we are here to talk about the second part of Zack Snyder's Netflix film, Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver.
Oh man. Oh God, oh man, oh God, oh man, oh God, oh man, oh God, oh man.
Just remember, keep it cordial. I will cut a.
Butter knife killers.
I actually got a cutting knife, so I don't know where it is. But,
So, I'm going to be real with everyone here and all of you guys watching. I almost didn't make a stream for this. I almost was not going to watch this because I was debating if I wanted to wait for the director's cut to get his full vision, because you guys know how upset I was when I reviewed part 1. But I did, to make it fair, I put a poll on my community tab on my YouTube channel, and I put a poll on Twitter/X, and I asked you guys, did you guys want me to skip part 2 entirely and wait for the director's cut, or did you guys want me to review this version of part 2 anyway? And unanimously, everybody voted for me to review this. So we are here. We're going to talk about it. Let's get it over with.
You guys just want chaos, right?
Y'all just want to hear me fired up. Y'all want the smoke. Well, that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get my 100% honest. Like, I'm not with the BS. You want my opinion? I'm gonna give it to you raw. Pause. Anyway, joining with me today.
Baby, you like it raw.
Maybe I like it raw. Joining with me today from the Kingdom of Nerds channel, we have Brucifer.
Ayu.
We have Taladia Plays.
What's up? The Snyder Bro is here.
Oh boy. We have Bradley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
We have Blue Jay.
Hi.
And we have the internet's most controversial raptor, Little Movie Perp.
Hey, release the Batgirl, please. Thank you.
Drama perp.
Let's go.
What were you gonna say, Taladia? Did I interrupt you?
No, I'm the Snyder Bro, so I was gonna say that yes, I'm here to talk about Rebel Moon with you. I've seen the film. I saw it with Jared from Comics League. Big shout outs to him, of course. And I can't wait to talk about my honest opinion on it, because I have got some really hot takes on that.
Mm-hmm.
That means he liked it. That's the only hot take.
No, Pep. There is
Icky.
some things I can tell you which I didn't like.
We have Isaac. What's up? We have figure jarring. We have Crazy Joe. Can we discuss Abigail instead? I wish we could be talking about
It's a
Abigail instead.
it's a
we have
fun movie,
Eric
by the way.
World Order as well. Welcome, sir. But let's not waste any more time. Let's get into Rebel Moon Part 2. And as always, we have to remind the viewers out there, this is a spoiler-filled discussion. This movie's out on Netflix. So if you guys haven't watched it,
Go watch it now.
go check it out. If you don't want to know anything about it, come back and listen to this. This is your only warning. So here we go. If you guys have watched our review for the first movie, Part 1.
Is this movie really worth spoiling?
Yes.
No, it's not.
Honestly, no, but we'll get you guys saw our review for Part 1, A Child of Fire. I was very disappointed
Why?
because for a lot of things. First of all, I
I
was
got
really
you back, Eladia. Don't worry. I'm a Snyder bro in heart. Let's go.
all right.
Yeah, my
Um,
back up, bro.
I'm just also actually I'll say this before I give my thoughts. I don't fear any of you Snyder bros. You want to come at me for my opinion?
Well, you
go-
should.
Come at me,
no,
bro.
no.
Why are you
As always,
antagonizing people?
I'm going to say stuff that the Snyder haters are not going to like, and I'm going to say stuff that the Snyder bros are not going to like. So if you
Preach.
can't take criticism
Wait.
or positivity, you might need to cut out of this stream because
I
I'm
gotta
not
say-
going to say stuff that you guys are going to like.
I'm
let's
gonna
go
say
there,
this
right
right.
there.
I'm gonna say this right now. You are entitled to your opinion. So I'm gonna put
Good
that
job.
out there.
And yeah,
So-
and I'll say
He's
this:
putting it out there.
if you guys have a different opinion than I do about this movie, then have that opinion. I'm not going to take that away from you, but you guys tune into my channel to get my raw, honest opinions.
Hot
I
take.
don't come with the BS. I don't say stuff that's popular. And finally, Max
Here
wants
we
to come
go.
onto the stream.
Who's late?
But,
Who's late? Wait,
Max.
he's 7 minutes late.
Hey
But
everyone,
Hey, Max.
He's
Matt.
he
Sleepy
just-
voice.
I'm
How
not.
are
I'm
you?
not going to be
So-
on
so
screen.
tired.
I'm not fresh. I'm not fresh.
Well,
Jared.
I could tell in your voice.
I can smell you from
Yeah.
here.
Coming in 10 minutes late, that's pretty fresh, bro.
But you guys, as you said, you guys know what happens when you get me. You're gonna get my honest opinions. I don't say stuff that's popular. I say what I genuinely feel, and I give constructive criticism where it's needed. So if you can't accept criticism or positivity wherever I put it at, go somewhere else. Go find what you need somewhere else because you're not gonna get it here.
That's on you, bro. That's on you, bro. If you can't take that crap.
Like seriously, like let's be civil. But anyway, I was very disappointed with Part 1. I was excited to see Snyder's like actual sci-fi epic that was inspired by Star Wars. This was originally a Star Wars pitch that was rejected, so he decided to take it to Netflix and he could have full creative control in his vision. I was like, yes, let's do it. Let's see Snyder's interpretation on a science fiction film. And then I already got pause when Netflix told him, we want you to do an edited down PG-13 version. Why? This is Netflix. You should be able to do whatever the hell you want. It should be full on rated R, his full vision, right? That's not his full vision. It's literally Netflix trying to recreate the Snyder Cut movement with this. And I just felt that was completely unnecessary. Completely unnecessary. So we saw the film and it was weirdly edited together. There was no character development. The special effects, the cinematography was kind of lackluster compared to his previous projects, at least in my opinion. And like this is probably one of my least the Part 1 was one of my least favorite projects from him, along with Sucker Punch and Army of the Dead. And I start to see a pattern with his stuff because whenever he does everything by himself, that's where you start to see the flaws in Snyder. He cannot be doing everything himself. And ever since he went to Netflix, you really start to see the imperfections with him. So, but I gave Rebel Moon the benefit of the doubt because like it was something different. It was something creative. But it's the same old stuff. The writing was all over the place, and he did the cinematography himself. He wrote the film himself. He did everything himself. That should be a no-no. But so then we get this part 2 that's coming out. And I'll be honest, as I said earlier, I was almost going to skip it because if it's going to be more of the same edited down PG-13 garbage, I'm like, I don't want to watch this. I want to wait for the director's cut to get his actual vision. But as I said, that people wanted to hear my thoughts on this, so I gave it a shot. I was hoping, since part 1 was a whole bunch of buildup, maybe part 2 will actually get some sort of payoff. And maybe we'll get a little bit more from the characters that was barely there in part 1, because I didn't really care for any of the characters outside of Sophia Boutella and Sir Anthony Hopkins as the droid. And even them weren't that great either. So, but I'm hoping part 2 will actually give us more of what we wanted to see. And Ray Fisher was wasted too. I was really excited to see Ray Fisher in the part 1. Barely did anything with him, and they killed him off. Spoilers.
The hell was he thinking?
Yeah, wishful thinking. So
he was actually
people were so in denial they were coming up with theories that he was definitely going to come back in the second one. I was
was cast.
People were I was like, I don't know about that, guys.
The director has a big storyline with him, a side story.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Well, he's so without spoiling it for everyone.
Okay, first of all, I'll just say this up front. If you're watching this part 2 spoiler stream and you have not seen part 1,
you get lost.
Are you going to a spoiler
Are we spoiling part 2 as well? This is
Do you see the title? Spoiler stream.
Well, why'd you ask? Why'd you ask?
I don't understand. It's like people tuning into a spoiler stream for Dune and they haven't seen part 1.
You want this on?
Like, yeah, you might as well keep that on. So
okay. Okay.
But anyway,
Nemesis dies.
So I was gonna say yes. Ray Fisher is in part 2, but he's a flashback screen.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We will get to that. Oh my goodness! But
wow,
I'm not gonna waste any more time. After watching,
did he just mic drop? What did he do there?
Wow.
That was a mic drop, but
no, people thought he was going to come back as a cyborg or some crap.
I mean, he can come back as a clone of a cyborg.
Literally, they literally thought he was going to come back, and it's like Zack Snyder's going to make him a cyborg and get watched.
That was my
shout out to DC. And I was like,
actually,
oh my god, people.
That was my theory from that
dumb.
yesterday.
That would have been awesome.
That last stream.
It would have been awesome. That's why I knew it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah. So. So in general, to get my general thoughts out there, so everyone else can say their thoughts, sitting down and watching this.
Yeah, I'm.
This
It was funny.
This is the worst film Snyder's ever made.
Yo, what's it like seeing the whole
worst
third
film
act?
Snyder's ever made.
Worse than what?
This whole movie was a third act.
Which
As
one?
a
Part 1 or
movie.
part 2?
Yes,
Yes,
awesome.
I thought this was worse. This was worse than part 1. I was pissed.
Really?
Watching this film.
Really?
Like, and this is coming from someone who is a Zack Snyder fan. I've enjoyed the majority of his films. The only ones I didn't like was Batman v Superman, Sucker Punch.
Say the Ultimate
Army of the
Edition
Dead.
2 and be a Chad. Say Ultimate Edition 2 to be a Chad.
The ultimate cut I do think is better, but I still don't think it's.
You still don't like it. That's Chad. Yeah, say it.
Yeah.
You got to say that out loud because otherwise the
Yes.
Snyder Bros. Yeah,
I've
like
enjoyed
Ultimate
the
Edition.
majority. But like, this is coming from.
What
a
the
Snyder
hell
fan.
is this attack on
Because
Snyder Bros tonight?
That was a defensive
That's
move.
what the internet
You
is right
sure?
now.
That was a
Nerd talk.
defensive
Everyone
move.
just like
That was
let it
a
loose
defensive
on
move. I was like,
fans right
you
now.
can't say
The
BVS
Snyder
is a
Bros
bad
will
film.
come after you.
Matt,
Really?
You cannot say BVS is a bad film without acknowledging the
wait.
ultimate cut in some way or
Pep,
form. Otherwise,
wait.
they say, watch the ultimate cut.
Baby hands. Hold on. Dial is entitled to his opinion, and I respect that. I respect that. I'm one of the Snyder Bros that respects other people's opinions, right?
Why are you telling
So-
me this?
And and as I said, like, I'm not a Snyder hater. I love Zack Snyder. I love the majority of his films. I love Watchmen. I love 300. I love Man of Steel. I love his like Legend of the Guardians, Al the Gahul. I loved his Dawn of the Dead film.
Dawn of the Dead.
But
I didn't love House of Ghoul. It was okay.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I didn't
How
love it, but it was a
dare
good
you.
movie. I
It
thought it
was
was a good
the
movie.
wings.
Max hates owls.
And I love the Snyder Cut of Justice League. You guys know that.
Of
I love the
course.
majority of his films. But once again, it's another example of Snyder cannot be doing everything on his own. And now he has made his worst film.
He's gonna do sound in his next film. That'd be
Part
hilarious.
2.
Actually, he's doing Twilight of the
He's
Gods.
gonna do what?
He's gonna do sound. He's holding the boom mic.
He's doing an anime next.
His boom mic
actually.
is made of wheat.
You know that, DL. He's doing an
But
anime.
yeah,
called-
Yeah, it's true. Yes.
I don't know. I don't know if I should be excited for that either after this. But this was a complete waste of time. I didn't feel anything more for the characters. The action scenes. Perp. I remember you talking about this on your channel when you saw the trailers for part 2. You thought, he was gonna pull back on the slow motion. He was gonna pull back.
Yeah, the
It looked
trailer
like he was
got
gonna
me.
be more focused. No,
Yeah.
the slow motion was
Got me.
even worse in this film. It was comically bad.
I'm part of
Oh my
Netflix's
God.
marketing. I got you.
Hey guys, look.
Really?
Look. Check this out. Slow motion. Paper.
I thought he had a graph. Like the amount of slow motion.
Luke,
I wish I had
there's literally a
graph.
scene. There's
This movie would
literally
have
a
been 30
scene
minutes.
Oh,
and he still got all
this
this
movie
where-
2 hours.
where Jimon Hansu was kicking a guy off of a bridge, and it took him 20 seconds to fall.
It's a big bridge.
20 seconds.
Was it the town bridge? That
There-
stone
there-
one? that
There's
they
a
kept on using?
motion of
Wait,
throwing
this is
up.
so fun. This is so funny seeing DL's reaction right now. It's
I love DL's
making me laugh.
reaction.
I love
It's making me laugh. Sorry, I'm just dying
Yes,
of
it is,
laughter.
Zeno.
The,
This is content, guys.
yeah, the characters aren't
Content.
not. Yeah, this is content. I'm giving you content. But like, dude, the plot is nonsensical. The characters, I don't care about them. The whole training montage of getting the villagers ready for battle was
That was amazing.
insulting to my intelligence. They didn't explain anything about this grain or wheat that the mother world wants so badly. What is so important?
Can I read?
about
Can I
this
read a
grain
line?
that they want?
Can I read a line? Can I read a line from
Read
the
a
movie?
line, read a
I had to. I had to.
Read
I
a
had to
line.
write this down. I had to write this line down. We need every man and woman who's able. The grain is our most powerful weapon. Without it, they are liable to blow us out of existence from orbit.
And wait till the end.
The grain
ending.
is our most powerful weapon. Without it, they're liable to blow. That's a.
And
I
at the
didn't
end, the
understand
guy's
that
like, "We don't
Well,
need the grain at all."
to be fair, all the sci-fi movies, they always have something that they need. Like it's always something like that.
The
It's
grain
a
is our most
staple.
powerful weapon.
So
Yeah,
it's
but
all-
yeah, but this is dumb.
But Perp, at the end,
Have you watched sci-fi movies?
Perp, at the end, the main villain's like, "We don't need a grain. We don't
They
need a
need
grain.
it-
Just annihilate them."
Honestly,
Yeah.
if you really think about Star Wars,
Thank you.
all these
Zeno.
big ships, they're gonna need food when they're traveling, taking over the
this-
galaxy. They're gonna
um,
need it. So
I'm
yeah,
pretty sure-
if they hide behind the food, that
Here's
is-
what I don't understand. If they need the grain,
yeah.
if
Yeah,
they need
go
the
ahead.
grain so badly, why are they using them as target practice? Why are
They destroyed the
If it's so
grain.
important, why
It
are
was
you
the-
doing
They got a
that?
lot more,
Why are you?
dude. That whole town was like.
Well, they
I
have
don't
to
know.
They have to.
I can't
Well,
wait to
this
see this
movie
director's
is
cut.
Stupid. This movie is
I can't.
That's
This,
what they
that
did.
whole village is based on grain and like sex too. Like that's their
Yeah,
like,
that's
custom
weird.
grain. Like
That's-
it's a very weird.
Yeah,
like,
That is
town
my problem.
going
That
on.
is my one problem with the film.
Are you guys just gonna trash this the whole time?
Yeah, I think
No.
they are.
No,
Pretty
I
much.
don't think they are.
You know what? I like.
How are
I'm
they
gonna
trashing it?
get-
I
I'm
didn't
gonna
give
get
any-
my-
Let's
I
change it
said
from
weird.
a review stream to Rebel
Trashing.
Moon trash freaking stream.
Yeah,
That's what you've been doing for the
I
last
did put
15
on
minutes.
the title. I did put on the
Well,
title.
defend
that
it.
There's a rant. So get
Say
ready
what's
for
good.
A rant. It's in the title. But I'm gonna get my thoughts out the way because I'm gonna be
Well, the
honest with you
grain thing
guys, I
is
don't have too
generic,
much-
but I mean, even Avatar, Unobtainium, and there's always something that they're, There's
Yeah.
got to
They
be a
were using-
reason.
they were
There's
using-
Yeah,
got
but
to
that's
be
a
a reason for them
MacGuffin.
to
That's
be
a
there.
MacGuffin. That's a
Yeah,
MacGuffin.
yeah, they weren't using
That
grain.
grain was not a MacGuffin. That was the highlight reel.
Pep, they were
The soldiers needed to eat.
They were using
You got to
hay.
eat in the galaxy. It makes
Well, it
sense.
doesn't
It's
matter. They're
generic.
destroying a whole village.
Generic.
Yeah, I
Grain,
know that's
grain,
fine, but
grain
here's the thing.
or
It makes sense. It's just
or hay.
generic.
They're
No, but
destroying a
that's
whole
used
village.
as a framing
It
device.
wasn't
God,
great.
oh my God.
grain.
It was grain hay. It doesn't matter. They're
No,
destroying
no,
a whole
because
village.
it's used as a framing device to show cool stuff. This was not used as a framing device. This was literally about like
I think
they
I came
are
to the wrong
showing their
screen.
grain.
Yeah, same.
It doesn't matter.
I'll say
What do you mean?
this.
I'm sorry.
Wait,
You guys
wait,
aren't
wait,
saying anything. What do you
wait,
mean?
I'm
You
gonna say
expect
one.
say the positives. Why do you expect us to say
Why
the
are you
positives?
Well, let him
yelling
talk,
so
Bert.
much?
Hold
What the
on,
fuck,
everybody,
dude?
everybody,
Fuck
guys,
this.
everybody,
God.
everybody, quiet, everybody, quiet, everybody, quiet. One at a time. One at a time.
DL,
Okay, I like the
I don't think you're
passionate
finished.
debate, but I'm not. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap my stuff up, but I'm just please. Can we have one at a time, please?
Yeah, I was gonna say
All
one
right.
thing. One
So,
one
I'm
bad
gonna-
thing I can say
yeah.
about this film. The fact that the sex scene, I didn't like the sex scene at all. I think that was over the top, in my opinion.
Where was the sex scene?
There was sex scenes at the beginning of the film, Max.
I must have missed that part.
You didn't see it? Yeah, there was.
There's going to be more in the director's cut.
Oh my god.
Oh, dear God.
There's going to be a lot more.
That's what I'm worried
I was going to
about.
say
point
the
where it's
village
like, I
said
don't even
that.
think
That's
the
part of their
director's cut can
customs.
I'm worried about that. So
Yeah, I really don't think. Yeah, I really don't think the director's cut is going to fix this. I'm going to be very honest with you. Like, if this is the extent of development we're getting from these characters, like, I'm sorry, making it rated R is like it might make it a little bit more entertaining. But if you're giving if there's not character in here, why should I care? It was just all gonna feel like visual noise. So it's like it really pains me to say this because I am a Zack Snyder fan, but this movie really made me upset. I was really hoping that this will be a new alternative to Star Wars, you know, and it's like it just. I'm not excited.
I
for
think
anything
there's
else.
glimpses of something there which could be cool. Like the space battles were cool at the end. There's some really cool characters. Jimmy is one of the cooler droids I've ever seen. You know.
yeah.
But the enemies are a little generic for me. It really feels like he just replaced the Empire soldiers with the most generic way he could.
Where was I was promised the bird in the first one too. Where'd that bird
Right,
go?
right.
Where the hell did that bird go?
It's gonna be a director's
Bring me
cut,
the
and
bird.
he's planning to film 4 more
Wait
movies.
for part 3. Part
That ain't
3.
gonna happen.
Oh, I'm not. No. Okay.
Yeah, that's part
Go on,
3. Yeah.
go on, Blue Jay. Go on.
Okay, so, all right. So if you saw DL's review of the first film, I was in it. I did not like it at all. I mean, I was promised a very a kick-ass, stylized Star Wars R-rated Star Wars movie. Again, they wanted to do like a faux Snyder cut movement, which is it's on Netflix. It's like I will forgive it if it's in theaters, but this is on Netflix. Why would you even want to do that? This is just that annoys the living shit out of me. But I watched it. It was like, how can you make a movie like that boring? Because there's some cool visual stuff. I actually like the world. The world is actually interesting. It doesn't, but these characters are no way all that interesting, except for Korra.
All the ones that die are the more interesting ones.
Yeah, Nemesis. That's what I'm
Like
saying. Nemesis was a huge.
Ray Fisher's
What?
character.
Okay.
Hold on. Hold on. Korra's interesting because Korra's only interested because they shove her backstory like 20 times, back to a flashback. But I like her, but then everything else is just 2 hours. This is a 2 hour and 15-minute commercial, a trailer for a better movie, for an extended version, which is still stupid. But then this movie comes out. I was not gonna lie. The trailer for the movie got me sold. But then I rethink to myself, don't get manipulated by trailers. And this is one of those instances. And it's like, God damn it, they're so good at making trailers. It's like so cool, me want to watch it. So this is it's 5%, maybe 1% better, but it's not saying much. only because this is a 2-hour, like Perp said, this is a straight up 2-hour third act, and that's pretty much it. And literally after watching this movie, I had a thought in my mind: this should not need to be 2 parts. This does not need to be 2 parts. Hell, this doesn't need to be like a 4-hour film or 6-hour extended version. This story should have been like 2.5 hours tops. Like any Snyder film has ever, any other Snyder film. Why does that have to be 2 parts? Why had it be 4 hours or 6 hours if it's like that goddamn long? Like, it doesn't need to be that goddamn long. It just needs to have it needs to have cool characters, a cool world, get some backstories, but don't make a whole 12-minute sequence of just characters one by one. Oh yeah, I was in the I saw my men died, slow motion. Oh, I'm out here for revenge, slow motion. I'm like, dude, that scene where they're in the barn, just in that dinner table. You know what I call that? I call it the campfire backstory trope. They just sit around in like a campfire on a table or a dinner table.
Yeah, it's
and
generic. It's been done so many times. Yeah,
that type of trope is that can work, but it's so drawn out. 12 minutes. I counted. I looked at the timer. 12 minutes, and it's just like, I'm lost.
You're probably
Power
like,
Rangers.
wait.
Go ahead.
He's probably just doing this, looking at his watch, and be like,
right. And
how long?
But it's just the movie. Like, I like slow mo. This is like I said about the first movie. The ways he uses slow mo is something that people parody. This is parody. Because
it does seem like I agree with that. There's some things.
He's turned slow motion.
Yeah, with the scene with them with the like wheat and grass, like that's already crazy enough. But the scene which was supposed to be the most badass scene with Nemesis with the fighting those guys in the barn would have been awesome if it wasn't just her doing this.
I don't.
I'm like, it would have been so. I don't know, man. It's just,
dude, that was epic.
There was slow motion. There was slow motion in unnecessary areas.
Like, it would have been. It's cool and all, but like the world is interesting. I like some of the.
What specifically do you find interesting about that world?
See, like some of the first movie, the planets look great visually. Okay. It's great. I like the katana lightsabers that Nemesis uses. Mm-hmm. Those are badass. Like the red, that's a cool effect. And I even like the way, like how like in the blasters when they shoot like a lava effect going around. Like that's a cool effect.
Yeah.
Do you
the
like
laser entrail is cool? Yeah.
Do you like the fact that she cut the arms off, the hands off?
Mm-hmm.
Why did she do that? Why did you do that?
I don't understand that either.
So for her to use the access to blade, which was, I think it was probably hot, really, really hot, she had to cut her hands off.
And use robot hands?
And use robot hands in order.
They said something about the robot hands taught her how to fight.
I think it was
like very sort of
like her ancestors. I think it was super cool idea, man.
Yeah, it was like a tradition
thing. Why doesn't Snyder explore the cool shit for the theatrical cut?
Yeah, they built her character up with that, saying that, and then she just dies later on.
Yeah, it's like, dude, like that's the coolest freaking character. She had the best fight, like in my opinion, the best fight scene.
I will say
had the best theme song.
Like, this is like the this is like I said, this is a 2-hour third act film. The first hour, pretty much an exposition dump. It drags on. out of nowhere, Jaimer Hansu starts singing out of nowhere, which I mean, I was like, what the fuck?
no.
Then I'm like, I mean, okay, I'm kind of the way it kind
He's
of.
also supposed to be a general, and he's like teaching him to farm, and it's like, what the
I
hell
don't
is
know.
going
It's
on
like,
here? Like,
it's
he showed no battle tactics. He's like, build
but the
trenches and
action-
then
And
we go hide in
they're
houses.
able to learn. They're able to be experts in 1 day of training.
But I will say this: the
Well,
fight,
that's all
the
movies,
the,
too.
the
Yeah, that's a
battle
lot of movies,
scene,
but he didn't demonstrate any general capabilities
but the
whatsoever.
actual battle was fun. It's just when you kind of think about it, when you pull it up together, it doesn't help with the other first half of the movie, and it just kind of really drags it down. Like, just because you have some cool action scene doesn't really do anything with the movie, right? It's just visual noise.
Yeah.
But it's still fun to watch. Like, it's like a conflicting thing for me, because there's I don't know, like it's almost feels like Home Alone kind of. Just they set up the traps and stuff. I don't know. They set up the traps and just
I
to
can
get-
I can understand your frustration with the film. So
I don't know.
I mean, I can tell like it was a bit confusing, and like the slow mo thing might not be your thing. Like I can
Like, it's
understand.
almost like if Zack Snyder wants to. It's almost like if Zack Snyder makes a Gordon Ramsay biopic, you'll be slow motion on the cooking elsewhere. It makes you just starving in that theater. You're like, I'm hungry as fuck.
I feel that'd be more.
Wait,
I feel
you're
that's more
hungry?
appropriate.
No. I was just making a joke. If Zack Snyder directs a Gordon Ramsay movie or any cooking movie, and he just focuses on the slow mo of them cooking something, like I don't know, it'll be funny to watch.
I feel that'd be.
We haven't
appropriate,
we haven't heard from Bradley. I would hear what did
Yeah,
what did you think
what do you
about
think
the
about
Rebel Moon part?
Rebel Moon Part 2.
Sorry, Bradley. I love you, man. I just the way you even started. I'm like,
I like his avatar, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's a good film. That's a good film that we can talk about, all day. This on the other hand was a lackluster piece of shit, frankly. And I think both films, and I will agree with DL, like, I love a big majority of Zack Snyder's films. I love the early work the most. DC stuff is where I kind of fall off. But I think these two films are probably his worst films in his filmography, to be honest. Just like, there's elements here and there that I'm like, okay, like, I like this, I like that, but it doesn't go anywhere. Like the giant falcon, I want to see that falcon. I want to see that falcon mess some people up in that second film, which I was getting the impression they were going to do. And I was given the impression of a lot of things they were going to do in the second film, but I was like, oh, okay, well, this is just way worse and way over indulgent in a lot of ways. I personally think that Snyder should stay out of the writing room, and he should not be his own cinematographer anymore. I really think that he needs to surround himself more with some people that say, hey, dude, let's put a leash on it a little bit. I just really think it's overindulgent in a lot of ways, and it just really took me out of it. Like, this film's made for a specific people.
Can I add something to that, Brad? I completely agree.
Of course.
But I think what we might not realize is a lot of cases for him to continue before the Snyder Cut was out, for him to get these projects started, because there was a lot of goodwill when that actually got released. He didn't really have a choice. He was in a bad spot, him and Ayer, after DC. He didn't get all his people. They had to move on to other jobs. So I'm just saying it may be that he also had, not only that he wanted to do everything, that he had to do it just to keep a career going.
Well, I think that, and I think having the security of Netflix maybe gave him the inspiration to, hey, I'm going to experiment a little more with things I didn't have the luxury of experimenting with on these bigger budget films.
I don't think he has the security anymore with the new guy in charge.
Well, yeah, that'll be interesting, because
the new guy's not a fan of him.
people did watch these films. You know, the second one had a 20 million drop off from the first one, but people did watch these films. So a third one probably is going to happen because we all know how Netflix is. They like to, you know, pump and dump and green light shit and release it. And they've made far worse films than this, but this is definitely up there with.
Oh yeah, there's
Where's Bright 2?
Netflix film.
I like
That's canceled. That's canceled.
Exactly.
That ain't happening.
I liked Bright.
Where's Bright 2?
Canceled.
If we ain't getting Bright 2, I don't think we're getting Rebel Moon 3.
So I was gonna bring this up. with
Yeah,
you,
that'll
Brad.
be the thing.
I would I'd rather have another Army of the Dead film than a Rebel Moon film. That's my opinion. Like obviously, like for me personally, like I felt like this film as a sci-fi film, it's good for what it is, which is a sci-fi film, right? There's nothing wrong with a sci-fi film. For me, the only problems I found, yes, there was a lot of slow mo. Yes, that is because that's Zach's forte, right? Zach does slow mo. That's his thing, which I respect, right? But like obviously, it didn't need to be a two-parter. I felt like if I was Zach, I would have just done maybe just done one film with the two parts together, right?
What I
I
would
think
say with the choreography or with the slow mo, I think the reason it's really jarring in these movies too is he had some awesome fight choreographers for the BVS and Justice League, where I think they also moved on, and without the awesome choreography of the action and the fighting and just the slow mo, it's even more apparent because you only get that part.
I kind of have a theory about this.
Yeah, that's very interesting because now that you say that, it's pretty interesting that Zack Snyder did not use a single slow motion shot in that Batman fight, not one.
No.
Well, I kind of have a theory about the slow mo.
That's interesting. I wonder if he shot
He
it.
used no slow motion in
Did he shoot it?
Man of Steel.
Was that an action unit?
I think the slow mo in these films, you can probably edit the slow mo out of these films to make like an hour cut, probably just slow mo itself. I think it was literally to pad runtime. I honestly think it was.
You know what? I have a feeling, and I said this as a joke on the first stream. What if the extended edition is just the entire film but slow mo?
No.
Wow.
So, but it's like for me, it's like, but for me, like I understand why Zach did it, but like I felt like it needed to be just a one film thing. It didn't need to be a two-part thing. But I understand why he's doing the director's cut, and he said like, "Oh, these cuts aren't going to be like in the same context as the theatrical versions." I'm like, okay, I'm just like, why just put out the director's cut, right?
Can I say
right?
Which annoys the it's all right. It just annoys the living shit out of me because like remember it's like just Netflix, it's also him, and I'm just gonna say they're both idiots for doing that. I'm just kidding. Like I think
Not
it's
if they
because
got numbers.
like I think it's because hell, okay, the runtime thing. This does not need to be, like I said, not two parts. I think Zach needs to rein in his storytelling because he needs to find a way to make a movie that's more palatable for any studio, not just Netflix. That is not like a 10-hour shift worth of storytelling of things. So like it doesn't need to be 6.5 hour movie. That's as long as a Disney Plus show. No, this could have been a mini. I don't even think this would work as a mini series. To be honest with you, it'll be just I don't know.
I think it could work in this series.
I mean, like for me, obviously, I like Zack Snyder's films, of course. Yes, I'm a Snyder bro, but I feel like yes, I just didn't feel this film was close to being as epic as as what's it called, Army of the Dead, or the Dead, you know what I mean, the Dead series, right? The one that he directed, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Because that was more action packed, and that I actually was invested in those characters.
I don't know if
Sorry.
it was more action packed. I feel this one it has a little more action, but the thing is, the scale of it, despite it being, and this might be a hindrance of doing it practical, believe it or not, is because it felt like it's like people fighting between like 6 wooden buildings, like that's it, and then like 6 ships. That's it, right? It didn't. You didn't feel like the scale of it at all. Like you just like
in the
it
world,
was
they
the
show-
same shots, like in the bridge, the same shots in the bridge, where they would cut interior. None of each
Yeah.
of the individual fight scenes didn't really affect each other. They were just
Right.
like, I guess he filmed it so that it's very simple to. I could put the editing of Nemesis fight and her death anywhere, literally anywhere, and it wouldn't matter. It literally wouldn't matter.
In the
Because
world,
it-
while they look cool, it does really feel like the prequel. Even though I love the prequels, like the prequel worlds
Feels
were
a
like
little
just
small. It
green
felt a little
screen,
small.
like they're just the actors in front of a CG world.
It was green
That's why I
screen.
feel
'cause
like
of that.
the,
They filmed it in the pandemic.
Yeah,
That's
this
why
was
I
filmed
feel
during
like
the pandemic.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
That's a factor as well.
Yeah, so it's really
Yeah,
interesting.
I-
Yeah, this
I-
film was. Sorry, Dio.
Sorry, no, I was just saying this is why I said that the world building for this universe doesn't make a lot of sense, because like
No.
Snyder wants it to feel gritty and grounded and dirty, but at the same time they want to have these big, like, science fiction like ships and this technology that can bring people back to life. It's just like the two worlds don't mix very well. It could, but he doesn't
Yeah.
flesh out the world enough for it to make sense. And then he's
He's
just
not
introducing
interested in science.
these-
It's go ahead. Sorry, I'll let you
these-
finish.
Oh no, yeah, it's just like because it's like how is there a universe where there's people that are able to bring people back to life from the dead with a machine, but they need grain from an old village. Like your resources seem to be more advanced than that. It's just
Yeah,
like
it's strange.
I don't know. It's very strange.
Yeah,
And it's like you have. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, like you have these tanks that could shoot giant blasters, like these walkers from Star Wars, but you need to crank them in order to use them. Like it seems it should be more advanced than that. Like what?
I
I don't know. Yeah, go
I,
ahead.
I feel
Go ahead.
I feel I do think like when you mentioned like the cranking is very like World War
19
II.
yeah,
Yeah, very 1940s kind of.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like the style that he was kind of going for, because it's kind of like this like even though the entire world is very sci-fi, very Star Wars-esque, there
Yeah.
is like that very 1940s, 50s, 60s aesthetic
Oh, yeah.
to it, like a certain type of look.
To
even though-
some
yeah.
of it. To some,
Oh,
that's the thing.
well, that-
Every world it's its own look. Every like character is its own look. Like he's not interested in ideas so much as looks, right? It's about a clashing of sci-fi visuals so much as not ideas. He brushes by the ideas.
Which,
He's just trying
I
to
mean-
get that freaking spaceship in that
Well-
medieval town. Like that's what he wants.
I-
That's what he's
'cause
looking for. That's
like
his intent. That's all he's looking for. The
like
visual.
the look, like the clothing, like
And there's
well,
nothing wrong with that for some people.
like some of the clothing look very Earth-like sometimes. They like that.
Yeah.
They almost look like they're from
Like
they're in
what
freaking.
was up with the
Victorian era.
Birdman's origin story was like so jumbled. Like,
That
like,
felt like
the
his-
mother like she offs
Just-
herself for honor, but then she's all about preserving legacy. It's like, yo, lady, you could be making babies.
I don't even
Not
know.
offing yourself.
I
If
wasn't
you're all
paying
about the
no.
legacy. What
I
are you
wasn't.
doing?
I wasn't paying no. See, what's funny is that I wasn't paying no. I almost see. I was almost a little checked out of like the campfire stuff. Like, oh, I have this origin story. I have this origin story. Then you get to. I call him Tarzan boy. You get the Tarzan boy, and then you get
I
the
call him Bird
Tarzan
Boy.
boy,
Birdman.
Bird boy. You
Or
get to
Birdman.
him, and then you just. And I was kind of like looking down. I was texting someone on my phone. I look up, and I just see someone on a ledge like this, like I'm like, okay. It's like, all right.
Go ahead, Taladia.
I was gonna say, right, for me it was like yes, it felt 1930ish, but also Victorian, especially with the what's his name? The you call him the Tarzan man, right? So like when his origin story was like very Victorian time, and I felt like that was cool.
Excuse me.
Bless you. Um, that felt Victorian time, and I was just like, that's really cool to see something like that. We've never seen that in a sci-fi sort of S film. But
Jupiter
what?
Ascending, dog.
No, I haven't seen.
Oh, don't mention that.
God.
I haven't seen.
Don't mention
Why?
that.
Why? With
No.
Rebel Moon, it seems very appropriate. What are you talking
No,
about?
I haven't seen Jupiter. I haven't seen Jupiter Ascending.
Whoa.
So,
Oh my god. The
You're
I
right
create
at the
life.
Oh.
I create life.
I did not think we would have to
But
talk
again,
about
but
Uranus
again,
expanding
it's
ever
about the visuals
But-
because what they were
but-
talking about made no sense with what you're
But-
seeing.
but the thing is with this film though, like, yes, for the time, because remember this film was made during post-pandemic, I would say maybe pandemic, post-pandemic era. So like for its time, yes, I think it was okay. It wasn't the best film. Like I'm not saying it's going to be the best sci-fi film out there, because there is better sci-fi films out there. Let me be honest. Alien, for example, a great sci-fi film.
Yes,
Um,
Alien is better than Rebel Moon. Correct.
Yes, there's
I
also
mean,
Blade Runner.
Blade
Lest we
Runner,
forget
yeah.
Star Wars.
No, let's
Blade
not
Runner.
let's not name movies that are sci-fi
Why?
movies that are better
This is
than
fun.
because we'll be here all night.
Yeah, that's true.
I like
City.
Blade Runner, but there's a lot.
There was a little movie that could called The Matrix.
But you
Guardians of the
understand what,
Galaxy.
Guardians
but
of
you,
the
but
Galaxy.
you understand what I'm trying to say though, Max, right? It's not like as a Snyder
Dude.
fan, as a Snyder
Lest we
fan,
forget Dune Part 2.
yeah, I understand. As a Snyder fan, this isn't one of his best movies. It's an okay film, right?
Is it better
That-
than Valerian?
Yeah,
What?
I hated Valerian.
Okay.
The Valerian's special
Valerian.
effects were
Um,
better,
I've
Anything-
never, I haven't
but
seen
I
the
just did not like that movie. I
Anything
mean, I'll
ca-
rewatch it again if I can, but
film. Yeah.
I just don't like Cara Delevingne as an actress. She's not a good actress.
Obviously,
Yeah.
I'll give Rebel Moon part 2 a chance when the
Okay.
director's cut comes out. That is something I'm always prepared to do, is to give it a chance, right? But I felt this film just needed. There's a lot of things missing from it that just needed to be in the film. But that's my honest
Like
opinion on
what?
it.
What do you think was missing?
There was like, for example, some of the heart of the film felt missing, right?
Mhm.
That's my opinion, and some of the important
There's no
bits.
heart.
What about the bird? Was the,
The
was the
bird.
bird,
I'm sure
was
we'll
the
see the
bird
bird
missing in
again.
your opinion? Because it wasn't.
either in the director's cut or
Hey,
the next.
they
movies.
better
And
bring
I
that
do think
freaking
We're
bird.
gonna make 2 more at least.
They made such a big deal about the bird in the
The
first.
bird
movie.
literally
They
ate
never
the
come
guy,
back.
and
Yeah,
they watched
yeah,
it happen,
yeah,
and they
but
just
he-
leave it there.
That's what I was
He
confused
never
about.
came back.
That's
He
a
ne-
griffin.
That was
Gri-
that
a
was
Why would they
griffin.
leave it
Yeah.
there? They saw it eat the dude.
See, that was confusing for me, and I was like, okay,
Hey, for part 3.
like why?
I thought it was gonna be part of the story. I thought they
No.
freed
You know,
it.
you
Part
know,
two.
if
By
you
then,
actually
I'm not
do think
gonna
about
care.
it,
Wait,
By the
You know,
time
if
they
you-
bring the bird in, I'm not gonna care. You should.
if you
Is
do
it-
think about it, the griffin would have been a lot more useful. If
See,
you think
Yeah,
about
they
it.
could have snuck into the ship
it-
with that instead of that
it-
freaking steampunk
Is it wrong of me to have my own opinion
Matrix
though?
shit.
Just saying.
Yes.
Just asking.
No, who's
Yeah,
saying
that's-
otherwise?
Nah, because I'm just saying, because I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat. Talaja has to defend the Snyder.
Well,
Ignore
no.
the
Even
chat.
if you
Ignore the
give
chat.
some slight
Who in
positive,
chat is being a jerk?
the people don't even want to hear anything positive about this movie. They just want to trash the hell
There's
out of it
tons of
across the internet.
positives.
And I don't care. I'm just
I'm
saying.
not
I gotta,
gonna
I gotta.
lie.
Me and Taladi are trying to give some
I'll-
opposite side here.
I've given
Yeah.
positives. I'll give another one. As much as people give it crap, I enjoyed them talking to each other about their origin
Yeah.
because it kind of like it kind of flowed well, and I got interesting like variety of visuals, which is what Snyder's good at. So I was like, you know what? I don't care about what they're talking. What they're talking about makes no sense in a lot of these stories. Like, okay, why'd you cut off your arm, dude? Okay, what? Like all throughout the whole thing. But the visuals were great,
See,
consistent, and it was like, what? Why not? It flowed for me. I know it gets a lot of crap, but
I
whatever.
thought the origins. I thought when I saw the origins, like in person, when I watched the origins, I thought all those
see,
characters.
that's the problem.
Yeah, I thought all those origins when we were watching the origins and backstories, I thought all those characters besides Korra,
Yeah.
at least Korra, were gonna die. We're all gonna die. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I thought all of them were gonna die except for Korra.
Also,
Yeah.
I thought it was very, very strange, and I thought it was a part of the plan that Korra like turns herself in after going soldier mode. It's like, bro, you just cut your hair and you were just gonna like you gave up. Like,
Yeah.
You know, like the symbolism of her cutting her hair is that she's now going to be soldier mode, no turning back, eyes on the prize. I'm in it to win it. And then she goes up and meets that guy and is like, hey, if you leave with that, I'll leave everyone alone. She's like, okay. And she believes him.
Not
And I was
only
like,
that,
what?
but you know, as soon as her ass was on the ship, they would have blasted that.
Yeah.
Carriage. Like,
And made her watch.
Sorry if I'm interrupting. But I was gonna say that
That was a really weird character decision it's the editing, man. His editing is so bizarre.
The scene with him, you know, killing off or deleting. That's the best way to put it. Deleting Noble in the spaceship. I think that fight scene was cool. Like with the sword fights, that was pretty cool. That's my opinion on that.
Sure.
And
so was Nemesis fight.
And also Jimmy's action scene. That was a really positive thing to say as well. Because like I wasn't expecting Jimmy to go, dude, you know, jump so high and get into the tank and do all this crazy stuff. And
that was one of the coolest moments in both.
I thought the effects looked pretty good for the ship stuff, like especially when they're in the sky, like the way the camera would jitter, all that, and the smoke coming out. Even though like I don't know why there's smoke coming out of ships like that. Outside of the coal, like they're using coal. Again, visual. It's all visual. I shouldn't question. But it did look good. It looked really good. I thought the visuals were really good for a lot of the ship stuff.
There were some moments that looked pretty janky, but overall it didn't look horrible. I think the slow-mo and the shitty filter over it really affected a lot of the visuals for me, though.
I do have some couple positive. I do have some good things to say, like good positive to say. Like visuals are great. Basically, almost the entire action scene. The entire battle scene, it did kind of save it for me. It's just bogged down with a bunch of slow-mo. But the like the fight, like the world, like the weapons that they use, some of the I don't know, Jimmy was cool. Jimmy had this little fight scene there, which was pretty. Oh yeah, the little spider tank thing. That's straight out of Star Wars. That's just straight out of like the Clone
There's a
Wars.
lot of Star Wars imagery in there.
I have a question.
You could edit this with Star Wars.
Go on. Let Bradley ask this question. Go on.
I noticed a few sound effects that were literally verbatim Star Wars sound effects, and some of the blaster sound effects, some of these ships, some other things sounded like literally like a reverbed or like a lighter version of a Star Wars sound effect. Did anyone else?
I can kind of I did hear some. There are some parts where I do hear that, but I never really think about it because I was like, this is just taking liberties from Star Wars. I know they're gonna take the sound from, put it in there, and so like that.
I think what's also interesting is how Sir Anthony Hopkins portrayed Jimmy. Like the way he portrayed Jimmy was like very interesting, like a voiceover thing instead of actually him doing actions, of course. But his dialogue scenes made sense, if you know what I mean, to Korra's backstory in some to relate it to Korra basically, right? Because they both came from the same, same part of the the King Gaze, right? From same part from that part of the organization, and I felt like Jimmy, like the whole you will lose type of thing, that actually motivated Korra. I felt that was very touching for her. I felt.
Okay, but what motivated Jimmy to help them at the end? He doesn't do anything for the majority of the film, and then he decides to come in at the very end. What made him change his mind?
Plot convenience is it's plot convenience.
There's two things it could be. The first thing is
could be
one of the you remember the village girl that gave her the flowers and in part
Yeah.
The
one.
one that made those banners in one day.
Maybe
It
they were
could be-
treating
That
them
was crazy,
nicely.
man.
That
That
could
was
be
crazy.
that could be.
I
one
saw
of
her too. She was working those fields when they were doing the montage. That was like one day because they showed the day, then
Not
they
my-
showed night, and then she's handing out banners to each one. I was like,
I was
whoa.
like, my phone isn't dinging. Just FYI. But anyway,
Not mine.
but what I was gonna say is that yeah, the girl that put the flower on Jimmy, maybe because of her, that maybe forced, that could be one reason. Or the second reason is them he's probably seen them defending and losing it, and there is a reason to help these guys because these guys are losing.
You know what I really thought about this? The
what?
battle scene.
That's the
I
thing.
thought they were
it's
gonna
like
lose.
There's
they
nothing.
they focus.
Yes.
Go on. No, go on. Finish.
It's like they're wasting these characters. Like they're giving us breadcrumbs for motivations. You talked about earlier when they're all around the round table giving their backstory, their tragic backstories. What Blue Jay? What did you call it? The campfire campfire reveal
Campfire
thing?
story.
I call it the campfire backstory trope.
Yeah.
I like that. The
Yeah, it's a
campfire
bunch
backstory
of tropes jumbled together too. They made no sense. Some of their stories. It's
And,
like, all right. I think someone's lying here.
I was about to say, like,
honestly,
there
if
are
I was
other
there, I was like, one of
movies
you is lying.
Is
like,
that true that he was dogging on Marvel?
Yes, he was. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's
He
like
was-
they,
he was-
they try to take this
he was in
time
Transformers.
to
As long as you
he
don't
was
dog
in
on Michael
Transformers.
Bay.
But it's like they that was their time to give us something to make us feel for these main like heroes that we're following. And literally that wasn't enough. It was like they only gave us like a minute for each person, and yeah, they have some interesting stuff going on in their backstory, but it's like they don't go into
Visually.
it enough to make us feel for the character. And it's like Zack Snyder is a
Nemesis.
great visual storyteller, but Nemesis not even Nemesis really. Like, is she badass? Sure. Do they have a little tease of like she went through pain? Sure. But it's not enough for me to be like
her ancestors
I
being on her
sympathize
glove
for
is
her.
pretty cool.
Well, here's also the thing. Like Nemesis has a cool look. She looks cool. She has a badass weapon. But the biggest thing that took me out of her is that in the first movie, she comes out of fucking nowhere and is all suddenly with the main character and suddenly has beef with like the spider
Spider
I don't know what that
Lady.
character,
Yeah.
Spider Lady, and just
Yeah.
suddenly has a cool action scene. I'm just like,
Hell yeah.
where the hell do you come? You come out of I know it's probably from the extended cut, but for this version and that version comes out of thin air. And I was like,
Yeah.
where the hell did you come from?
Am I mistaken?
That's
But
where
did
it
the
goes
little
to be
girl-
like
wait,
their flashbacks are like the flashback they were trying to do fails because it doesn't add enough for people to care
yeah,
more.
there's,
Like
there's no
Power
art.
Rangers 2017. Power Rangers 2017 did a better campfire explanation of everybody than this movie. Like they each
Breakfast
go
Club
through
is
a
one of the best.
Wow.
Breakfast Club
Did
is
the
one of
little
the best.
did she save the girl in the first one?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so there's
Yes.
okay, so she has literally no arc because that was her arc because they made it seem like, oh, I need to
No.
save these kids. If I save them and I die, then I did my arc. But it's like, well, you saved
No.
the first girl. She should have died. That's the arc
If you remember
It's
the
such an
first
easy
movie,
arc
I
right
remember
there.
the first perp. If you remember the first movie,
right there.
Nemesis was a mother. She was a
I
mother.
know. And she has
So-
to save children now. But it
And
would have
now-
been cool if she's
yeah.
always failed in saving the kids. And this is her one chance to actually do it. That's what building an arc is. But she's literally saving kids left and right, so it doesn't freaking matter.
I'm gonna put this out there. I think I don't know if DL you're gonna do another stream.
I just wanna
on
kill
the-
kids,
on the rated R cut. I don't know if you're gonna discuss that.
I'm
if-
indecisive right now, but go ahead.
but
Director's
like,
cut better kill that kid.
I mean, I think once the director's cut, maybe we'll get more context. Maybe they'll, somehow they'll explain the stuff that really gets the juice, if you know what I mean, that gets people audience
I think he's just gonna do. I think he's gonna do elongated side stories in the director's
think
cut.
so?
I don't. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna explain
See,
anything. because there's no. He hasn't demonstrated that he cares to explain anything in any of this stuff. So why would you think that it's gonna be in the director's cut?
See,
I think it's just
that's
gonna
what-
be
see-
side story stuff.
You see, say once you
Plot
said that,
lines.
perp,
Nothing's going to be explained.
when you said that, perp, it almost it gives me video game vibes. It's like we got main quest, now you gotta do a
Yes.
side quest, then another side quest.
Let's
Final
be
And it's
real.
Fantasy.
like,
Well, video games
Lots
do a
of
good
movies
job
do
of
this,
that,
and
though.
even Zach, he's not he's focusing on the action and stuff when he little as possible to get to that stuff. I would prefer it really fleshed out and less generic, but so maybe there is hope
oh, I
in
have
the
one.
extended cuts for
I
that
don't know,
go out.
That's
man.
fine.
I have
I don't
one
think
question.
Snyder is focused on action with the first one. Actually, I think the action
I
scenes
don't
are
think he is.
very brief, and it's
No.
like I don't know
Yeah.
what his intent
I
was.
I agree with you there, Pep. Like that's something I agree with you on.
Yeah.
It's like on the first film, I didn't think that he was focused mainly on the action stuff. I think it was basically story wise.
I think he
But
was
then
trying
on
to. I think it was more
No, the
world.
first film.
I think it was world building, like
Yeah.
visually. Again, not
It was
really,
Yeah.
like with a very little thin story.
It was
going on
exactly
there.
what it was. It was exactly what
Yeah.
it was. It was
He was
more
just
world
like,
Yeah.
building.
It wasn't-
no, he was. I'm sure he was having a blast with storyboard artists when he was coming up with this thing. Like in terms of like
Jesus
the
Christ.
ships, the different styles in the planets, all that stuff seems like where he has a blast.
That's all he does. That's
Okay,
the
but-
most work he does on his films is sit there for fucking years and storyboard with his thumb up his ass. Oh, this would be cool. This would be cool. This would be cool. That's all he
Yeah,
does.
cool.
I know majority of the panel don't like Zack Snyder.
No, Bradley likes
Absolutely untrue.
Hold
I
on.
like
Stop,
Zack Snyder.
stop.
I don't even like this Rebel
Stop
Moon movie.
right
I just,
there.
it's very frustrating to me.
Go
See,
ahead.
that's the problem. Like, did anybody pay attention to what I said in the beginning of the stream?
Yes, he
I'm
did.
a
Yes,
Zack
he
No,
Snyder
it's
fan.
Yes, he did.
I enjoyed
Yes.
the majority of his films. Like, this is one franchise he's done that I don't like. It's like, can we not
Do you
put
think-
that narrative down that
Well,
I'm a
see,
Zack
like,
Snyder fan?
and-
That is not the
I mean-
case.
I mean, like his sci-fi stuff, sci-fi and horror genre. You probably don't like that type of area. That he's
What do you
in.
what
mean?
do you-
Dawn of
I
the
think-
Dead was really good. Man of
Dawn of the Dead
Steel
was great.
was practically a science fiction movie.
What do you think
Yeah,
of
but
Army
Dawn
of the
of the Dead
Dead?
wasn't
Man?
written by
I don't
him.
know. I don't know about Army of the Dead.
But Dawn of the Dead wasn't written by him. You know who it was written by?
James
Yes, I
Gunn.
know.
James
Yeah, I
Gunn.
know who
The
it is.
savior of
Uh,
DC.
That's
Yes,
why
we
I
know.
said he should not be writing everything by himself. He should not be writing
See,
everything by himself.
well, let me.
I think-
Not
can
a
I-
producer. A producer would tell him, "Hey, you know this editing thing? Put this over here." Put like a producer could handle this. A producer could handle this bad
Yeah.
script. Believe it or not.
I would
you know?
I would rather have Zack not direct every Rebel Moon film. Right, that's my honest opinion. I think rather him
I agree.
yes do the first two films fine, then next two films have somebody else, but him be the producer, so it interconnects with that universe, right? So
Yeah,
it
get
makes
your,
sense
get your
that
Denis
way.
Villeneuve on.
I don't know what
Denis
that
Villeneuve
means.
on.
I don't
For
know.
Dune.
And
No,
Dune,
don't
'cause
disgrace
It's
that's-
him.
also like it's also
'cause
very
that's what they did with
it's,
Dune,
it-
you know?
it's also very frustrating with how he promotes all these different ideas and IPs and how this is connected to
Your
Army
mouth
of the
isn't
Dead.
moving.
Like this is like this to me is I don't know. This was a very weird Hail Mary by Netflix, honestly, with the way they're marketing
See,
it, like
like,
everything
go.
about this was
out
just
of can I say
bizarre.
s- like
I'm
out of
sorry.
all the for me, I like Snyder. I don't love him. I don't think he's the greatest thing in the world. I don't think he's the worst director in the world. I like a couple of his films. I like a handful. I like his best film is Man of Steel. I like it. That's my favorite. That's my favorite movie of his.
How dare
I
you.
like art.
300.
Yeah, I like Watchmen. I even like Army of the Dead. That movie was entertaining as fuck. But don't oof me.
sorry, my bad.
No, I thought that was Aaron.
That was me, my bad.
That was Pep.
No, screw you too. But I even like the Snyder Cut, but it's a movie I would never watch again. It's good, but it's not something I would rewatch for 4 freaking hours because I have shit to do for 4 hours. But other than that, he's not I'm not the biggest fan. I like him, but I'm not like super crazy about him.
Yeah.
And I
which
feel
is
like
understandable.
but I feel like he's one of those guys that he's obviously one of those directors that gets so self-indulgent His movies gets too long.
Yeah.
Especially if it's on Netflix. Like it's not just him. It's like any other director. Like their movies get way too long, way too self-indulgent, and it's just like
Irishman.
it's. I never seen Irishman. I don't know how. I heard
No.
his. I never seen Irishman, so I heard 3.5 hours long. Like 3.5 hours long, really, Scorsese? Like,
And he
yeah,
did it again with Leo.
At least on Netflix, you could
That film's
pause it.
amazing.
You could at least.
Yeah, I like
Netflix,
blood.
At least you could pause it in between, right? Like if you want to take a little break. you
but
could
yeah,
pause
but
it.
it's even if it's on Netflix, it's still a long movie. Like for as a movie on its own, if you can able to watch it, it's still not it, but still.
You're talking to guys who watch wrestling for 2 or 3 hours. Me and DL and others. Like
we have 4-hour pay-per-view.
yeah, we just did that Sunday, right?
Yeah, I don't have time to watch 4 hours of anything like that. But yeah, like Netflix movies. Some are good, or just get way too self-indulgent. That's just kind of me. So,
But
okay, can we talk about? There's one scene.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Taladia. Then one scene I want to talk about after you're done.
Is it?
That's
what I think it is.
Which is fair game. Like, and obviously, I just want to put it out there. Like, I respect your guys' opinion, and I know people are gonna say, oh, why is this Snyder bro trying to do that? Like, I'm just a person like Zack Snyder's films, and I respect people's opinions, and their opinions do count, guys. That's the thing, and it isn't one of those things that everyone has to be right. No, it doesn't mean that. It means sorry, everyone can be wrong. No, everyone can be right and wrong, but at the same time, they're entitled to their opinion. You know what I mean, DL, right?
All film is subjective.
Yeah,
There's
you know what I'm
gonna be a
trying.
movie that-
Yeah.
Yes.
You
There
understand what I'm
could
trying
be
to
films
say?
that a lot of people love, but you don't like, or there's a movie that you love and everybody else doesn't like. That's the glory of movies. You could, it's like art. People can take different interpretations from it. So
What's that? What's that, Blue Jay?
oh, we're gonna bring that up. We're gonna bring that crap up. Okay.
You said all films subjective, DL. Come on, man. You gotta stay true to your word.
Oh no.
Nope, I still don't like that movie.
I like those.
hate
I like
characters.
those two characters more than Jimmy. I said it. I do. They took down that. Okay, let's compare scenes of badassery.
Amazing. Every word of what you just said was wrong.
Oh, art is subjective, right? You guys just had clap.
Yes, art is subjective. Art is subjective.
Signaled and y'all clapped for
I'm
Taladi.
sorry.
Stop it.
I'm sorry.
Get some help.
The minute I say my subjective opinion, it turns to a laugh fest. Screw you guys. I'm going home.
I mean,
Okay, Cartman.
You can't help it.
What the hell is even that?
Like,
Daddy chill.
Every time when someone said all films subjective, I put this in the background. Just
do it. Test them. It's a good test, Blue Jay. You see these guys failed.
Except for this.
all
This
right.
is objectively bad.
Back to DL.
What are you gonna say, DL? Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, you wanted to say something.
yeah, there was one scene that I want to talk about that I thought was the funniest thing in the entire movie, but it was
I think I know
so
what you're
stupid
talking about.
at the same time. That flashback that Cora was explaining when she killed the princess, right? And you had those guys in the background with the bags on their heads playing the violin, right? And they're playing the score of what's going on. Like when they're about to kill the royal people, I guess.
The king and the
whatever.
queen and the princess. Yeah.
The orchestra went like dun dun dun. I'm like, Are we? What is going on right now? Are they actually?
So
playing
it's the actual
to this movie? Like, what is going on?
I was that is pretty, but you know what's funnier?
What do you look like they were in a My Chemical Romance concert? Like,
no, it would be funnier. It would be really, really bizarre if those people in violins were actually there during the entire battle scene on the planet. Just
Oh yeah, they should have ship them over. We got a big war.
It's like
Bring the bird too.
It'd be the equivalent of marching bands on the football
Yeah.
field with two opposing teams.
oh
going
my
at each
god,
other.
like
Yeah.
wait, hold on. Who's the composer? Oh, Junkie XL.
It'd be-
Imagine
it'd be
Junkie
like-
XL makes a cameo in the movie.
It'd be like Star Wars. It'd be like Star Wars if they had a band in the Darth Vader versus like Luke scene from both.
That'd be cool.
It'd be
They
like
had an
that.
orchestra playing Duel of the Face while Darth Maul and Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan are fighting. That's like the
cool.
extent of that.
By the trade council or whatever they were, those guys. with the accents or whatever.
Can I just say Junkie XL?
Like Snyder.
Junkie XL baffles me sometimes because he can make great scores
Yeah.
like Fury Road, Alita. The Furiosa soundtrack sounds amazing. Just from what we've heard in the trailers, it sounds fantastic. And he makes shit like this and shit like Godzilla and almost every Snyder film he's done.
Hey, don't you be trash
done the
talk
music
Godzilla
for it.
Kong.
Hey, that music in the Godzilla films is so generic and it's so bland.
You know what? You know what's funny, Brad? You know what's funny? When you say something about Junkie XL, sometimes he makes good scores, but some of his scores blend in together. Like
Yes.
when Korra was flying the ship to like the hiding spot, it sounds like parts of it sounds like the Man of Steel score, and it almost it. I keep thinking Superman is gonna fly down and crash down the mountain when he was first flying around in the background. Like I keep thinking Superman's gonna fly around or whatever. Like what the hell is even going on?
Well, I hear the I forget. It's the dun dun dun. dun with the Batman. The Batman stuff is in there.
Like the
some
drums.
of the Dark Side.
Worst
Yeah,
theme ever.
I have the vinyl.
And then there's
I
also
listened to
the
vinyl.
yeah.
Go ahead, go.
And then there's you guys hear the choir singing in the background like
Yes.
They did that for the battle scene, and normally when they do that in battle scenes, they show like the good guys losing, but like the good guys were kicking ass to that music. I was like, I don't know what
Yes.
you're doing. They're showing the bird boy like with the axe, and he has axes. I was like, what is going on? And he's like kicking ass on that bridge.
It reminded me of the Amazonian cat call in the Snyder cut, like yeah.
I don't like some of the music
does
there.
anything. Whenever Wonder Woman does anything in the Snyder cut, it goes
Yeah, Tony.
Oh, and I hate
Oh,
to be
yeah.
I hate to be a Debbie Downer. A lot of
PTSD.
people have been giving praise to that final fight where they're falling down as the ship is tilted, right?
That's
And they're
cool.
fighting while
That-
falling. And it was very cool, but it had also happened in my boy Michael Bay's Transformers
no.
last night.
You know
It was
what?
literally
Come on.
the same
You had to bring
thing
Michael Bay
happened
in
when he
your
did
brain.
the same thing.
Wait,
only
guys,
had freaking
guys.
Transformers. It's
Let me-
literally
That's
the
Revenge
same
of the
thing.
Sith.
he's actually correct. He's actually
Yes.
correct. He's
They
No,
literally
but there was
filmed
another
it the
movie.
same.
There was another movie.
in
there was
Dark of the
another movie
Moon.
that-
I don't
in
care.
Dark
Well,
of the Moon.
Ron, I love you,
in-
Ron, but saying someone's a moron's kind of harsh. Whew.
But there was another movie that the kind of ship was going down. Return of the Jedi. Remember?
But they weren't fighting.
Revenge of the
Yeah.
Sith.
Revenge of the Sith
They-
was. They were
They were
Yeah,
fighting
Revenge
while
of
the
the
ship
the
went
beginning
down.
of the movie.
They were
Oh,
fighting while
Revenge
the
of the
ship
Sith,
went
yeah.
down, or they were carrying
they
the
were-
they were
yeah,
carrying
there
the
was-
old man. There was no fighting while
Oh.
the ship went down.
Oh,
Yes,
my
there was.
versus
No,
Snyder.
there was.
They were fighting some droids before.
No, they
Yeah,
no, they
no,
were
but the
trying to-
ship
they were
was
trying to
up.
get out of
The ship was
and, like,
fine. The ship was fine when they were fighting the droids. The ship was going down,
Yeah.
and then they went through the elevator shaft. They had the dude on their what's his name, the
Obi-Wan.
freaking emperor
Obi-Wan.
on. Remember, they were carrying the emperor.
Palpatine, Grievous, or
Palpatine.
No,
yes,
no,
that
no,
guy.
no,
They
no,
were
no,
carrying-
no.
Weren't they
Oh.
carrying Palpatine?
Yeah, Palpatine.
They were
yeah,
carrying
Palpatine.
Obi-Wan.
Oh,
Obi-Wan.
yeah,
they
he
were
carried
carrying
Obi-Wan
Obi-Wan.
was
You're right.
knocked
You're
out.
right. You're right. You're right. Because he was
Obi-Wan was
knocked out.
knocked out. Yes.
So there's no fighting while sliding. It wasn't
Yeah.
until Michael Bay introduced it in the last night after doing a prototype in the third one where they're sliding through the building. He
I can't remember
prototyped
that.
it.
I can't remember.
He prototyped it and then he brought it to fruition in the fifth one. the sliding down while the ship is tilted, and they're also while fighting they have to avoid all the debris, all the junk, and other things sliding with them. It was done in Transformers: The Last Night.
It was done before.
Michael
Perp. Up at
Bay
the moon.
is the blueprint.
Perp. Save your Michael Bay stuff up until the Taylor stream tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Good segue. Go promote it.
I'll give Michael Bay this. He knows how to direct action better in Transformers films than Zack Snyder has directed action.
Oh, Michael Bay has good movies on his resume.
I like it.
Really, really good movies. Like really, really award-winning movies on his resume in the 90s. Like The Rock.
The Rock.
Hot take.
Like The Rock.
I think Armageddon was the original Oppenheimer. That's my take.
What?
Yeah, in terms of editing style, montage, if you look at it, I'm starting to believe that 100% Christopher Nolan saw Armageddon and like did his own thing with it.
I'm sure he did.
The editing style, how there's always music.
How about new?
They're both literally trailers done in movie format. Y'all could stop now. This is an Inception level conversation.
Okay,
sorry, I shouldn't have brought it up here.
Back to the movie. Let's just say
let's forget about Michael Bay for one day, okay?
I can't. Zack Snyder keeps stealing from him.
Pep, please, Pep. Otherwise, they're gonna cancel.
Listen, I know we're all disappointed in Zach, but he hasn't. Thank God he hasn't reached Michael Bay levels. Though.
Dude, he literally just copied an action scene that everyone's praising.
I mean, at least it's
he
not
literally reached Michael Bay's level.
I mean, no.
Years later.
Okay.
This could be a debate. This could be a debate on itself. Michael Bay versus Zack Snyder. That'd be interesting. Stream.
I'll say this. I'll say this if you don't mind me, because it's like 4:30. Is it 4? Yeah, it's 4 nearly 4:20 in the morning here. So I'll say this. I think yes, I was a little bit disappointed by the film, but it did not, because I was going in low expectations. I wasn't like super hyped like I was.
Why if you love the first one?
Because it wasn't that. I'm a comic book nerd. Remember that.
But you loved the first movie, part 1.
No.
You didn't?
No, because the first one there was not much action scene.
Oh, I thought you did.
I had low expectations for this one because I was like, okay, maybe there'd be a lot of action scenes that might help me feel a little bit better about the film. But I feel yes, maybe stepping away from directing Rebel Moon films in the future would be the safest bet for him, and just do maybe producing and giving somebody else to do the directing would be the best option. And that's my honest opinion on that. And yeah, like part one wasn't exciting like compared to Zack Snyder's Justice League or Army of the Dead or whatever, right? But part 2, I felt like part 2 with the action scenes that there was something to be excited for.
Yeah,
I think for the most part, I kind of dug it. There's this movie. I have to now recommend a Japanese movie. You know how I do. There's a movie called 13 Assassins out there by Takashi Miike, and he has a battle sequence. It's about 13 warriors up against a whole army. And so what they do is that they take over these 13 warriors. They go to this town, they give them money, and they help this town out. And they go, yo, can we take over this town for like 2 weeks? And they're like, sure, whatever. And then they booby trap this whole town. They have this whole army coming through this town. And then the final sequence is a 15-minute battle of these 13 warriors using this town, using like they have a bunch of running bulls, all booby traps, all this really cool stuff and cool sword fighting. And it's a final 50 minutes that's paced beautifully, and it's awesome and it's great, and I highly recommend that movie. I think Snyder also was inspired by that movie with the final 45 minutes, because there's very similar ideas there. So everyone check that one out if you like this movie.
Interesting. I mean, it's Magnificent Seven, it's Seven Samurai.
Yeah. Bug's Life.
Well, I think that's another thing I'm kind of getting, like, the trope is kind of over. I'm kind of over it. Like, I do enjoy a lot of his team up films. But the
Yeah.
more I think about it, like every single one of his movies is a team up film, and the more recent ones have been pretty shit. I just don't. I think Shea Hatton is a horrible writer, and that I think he's a big contributor to why these films and Army of the Dead, for me personally, was bad. Because those three films, so far, what he's done with Netflix has not been good in my opinion. So
No.
he's kind of he's like on thin ice with me, like honestly, interest wise. Because if this is the route we're going, then I'm kind of over it. I'm kind of
I
over
looked
this
up
whole
Shea
team up
Hatton to see
shit.
who you're talking about. I looked up Shea Hatton. He co-wrote John Wick 3. He is the he does a lot of co-writing. He did John Wick 3, co-written Army of the Dead, Army of Thieves. Well, he solely wrote Army of Thieves.
Mm-hmm.
Army of
Day,
Thieves, I heard, was really good.
Day Shift,
It actually
Day
was
okay.
pretty
Shift
solid.
with
Day
Was okay.
Shift was
Fox.
fun.
And he co-wrote John Wick 4, and then he's co-writing Ballerina, the John Wick spinoff. And
Okay.
I mean,
Which all
I mean,
those
it's not
films
bad.
were
It's not
bad. All
No,
those
it's not
films are
bad.
bad.
which I like. I love the John Wick movies, but I mean, I do see what you're. I don't know. I think he's. I don't know.
3 and
I,
This is
4 are
like
bad.
I don't see a Rebel Moon. I just don't see any general audiences or even Netflix audiences generally interested in seeing this go on any further.
well. See, here's the
I,
problem though. Well, here's the
Views,
problem though,
even if you
Perp.
don't think it's good, it's getting views.
Yeah,
It doesn't
sure,
matter. It
sure.
doesn't.
But
You
it's
can get.
Netflix. Lots of things get views that
Yeah,
doesn't go
lots
anywhere.
of shitty movies get views, so it doesn't
Mm.
necessarily matter. It's just here's the
Well,
thing: the
doing good
movie.
I think they look at something else. I think they look like engagement or
and
something.
retention.
Yeah.
Here's the thing though: like, if you're gonna make a franchise, just don't try to tamper this movie as like your entry point. And like, if you're trying to make a franchise out of Rebel Moon, make a good movie. Don't try to make some hack job, stupid long two-parter that's already a dumb idea on Netflix. That like, let's be honest, Netflix and Zach are a part of. Well, Zach's a part of. We're both fucking morons for that shit. But I'm sorry, it's a stupid idea. It's stupid. And then the fact that they're trying to milk this as a movement or some kind of whatever they're trying to do, it annoys the
I
shit
know.
out of me.
I personally don't think that the part one, part two thing was a bad idea. The PG-13 rated R stuff was a bad idea. They shouldn't have done that. But it's like the part one, part two could have worked if the story was good. But it's
But
just
that's
like
the thing. The
you wet the
movie,
bed from
well,
the get
when you
go.
do think about, well, yeah, if you do think about it, the movie, the story that they're telling, I feel like they shouldn't have been a two-parter. It should have been 2.5 hours, just like most of Zach's movies have been. Just as a small, like a small two and a half hour film, tell the story you're telling, and there you go. It just, I don't know, just I don't, yeah,
The
Well,
green is our most powerful weapon.
a problem for me, and I absolutely agree with you, Blue Jay. I think this honestly does more damage than it does good on his career and on his image alone. I think turning that whole gimmick on both ends, and trying to replicate something that can't be replicated over 5 years, of work and dedication that a lot of people had to get that cut can't be replicated. You can't recreate that type of buzz.
no,
And
no.
it'll probably never happen again.
It's
very
manufactured.
It is very manufactured, and it's from the get. That's why I'm saying this whole he wants a verse so fast where he's like willing to give it. Army of the Dead is part of this. Okay, what?
Well,
Like
Netflix
it's
is
all
giving.
so
If
weird.
you brought Army of the Dead and combined it with the next part, that would actually be. I'm like, okay. So
I mean, yeah, that would be cool. That's why I know it's not gonna happen.
No.
Because every time there's cool
It
ideas,
wouldn't
he
make any
doesn't
sense
focus on the
though.
cool ideas.
Like I like the world. Like I said, I like the world. I remember I said this in the first movie. I did not like the tone. I'm kind of warm up to the tone a little bit because I'm not the biggest fan of. I like dark and gritty stuff, but it does need to be well executed in some movies and TV shows. I like the tone. I like the world. Just you got to make a good movie out of that too. Like you got you
Yes.
just gotta you gotta have to, bro. Like this is your first movie, well, first two movies, I kind of based in two parts. Your first movie, and it's already gaining negative reception. And I don't even see the extended version doing any favors. No matter, I don't know how many scenes they cut off, whatever context were cut off, especially how the fuck Nemesis came, like where the fuck did she come from? But even at that, it's just.
I just like to talk about the
Oh,
scene.
speaking of Nemesis, I did want to mention this. Speaking of Nemesis, I did want to mention this. Her death scene was probably one of the most comical death scenes I've ever seen since Trinity in Matrix Revolutions.
I had no.
She took almost 5 minutes
to die.
I had
It
no
took almost 5 minutes to
reaction
die.
that. I had no reaction when she gets that. I was like this. All right. I'm just like,
I thought they're all gonna die.
It was
And then they tried to have this.
for me.
She tried to have this special moment with the kid. She tried to have this, but it's like you had no interaction with this kid other than the kid
except looking in your
went up
eyes.
to you, exactly. That was it.
And
that was freaking
and
it.
the kid crying.
That's not
And the
character
kid crying.
development.
And the kid crying was like, I'm like,
Like they had some sort of bond. There, you had no bond. There is no bond. Like what are we doing here?
One thing I will say, it's like I felt like Nemesis needed a better, fight scene than just a death.
Yeah.
Right. That's my.
They
that's
built
my
up
hit
her
back.
to be a badass, and then it was just like she died in a barn with some just stormtroopers. They weren't even like main boss level.
I would have liked to have seen her on the fields, doing the fight there, than in a barn. That's my hit back on that, because I think that would have been
in a barn. What the hell? Like, come on, she would have. Imagine she would have like doing some cool, like, remember seeing like Deadpool, like Origins Wolverine, where like Ryan Reynolds was like doing all this shit with the sword. That would have been so cool if she does shit like that with the blasters.
That's also another confusing thing as well. The princess is alive thing. That's another thing.
How do they know?
That confused me.
How do they know she's alive? Like what?
That confused me a lot. Like I was scratching my head on that.
If she mentioned her backstory, right? Like with when she killed the princess, right? Shouldn't they tell her that the princess is alive? But they wait till the end to mention that.
Well, I think it's just. I think another thing that's ridiculously stupid is putting all the women and children in one building and taking all this time to dig trenches and tunnels and not building a underground bunker for the women and children.
I'll be honest with you, Bradley. The whole village versus that army is ridiculous, because that village should have no chance against that army.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
They were about to get them. No, they took.
Like it was 2 nights.
Less than 5 days.
The director's cut's probably gonna expand.
DL. I guess the training in that army, in the Motherland Army. I guess the training is like 1 hour. That's it. 1 hour training. You're ready to go.
You gotta chop off some hay. Chop up some hay.
That is the most real, authentic, hysterical laugh of my entire life, because that is not a plan.
It's barely a concept.
Who played that?
Me.
Okay.
Oh, do you want to know something?
Go on.
Oh, yeah. That ship, the Dreadnought. Apparently, I think. Keep this in the grain of salt.
I did look up not a copy of Star Wars Dreadnought.
Yeah, the Dread. I mean, that's a nice looking ship, though. Apparently, it carries like 5,000 troops. Compared to like the handful of villagers in this planet, like how are you able to defeat all those guys?
Well, I'm sorry. As a superior, technologically advanced army, the first thing I would do is literally surround them with ships by air. Once you take air in warfare, you basically win. Like if you have the high ground in the air, you have no fucking worries.
Yeah. You know what they could have done? You know how in Star Wars when when they do the bombardment and shoot down the planet from above with the Star Destroyer. Should have just done that. Movie would have been over.
If we can, DL,
That's just lazy writing.
if I can, like to highlight the super chat from Tony Movie Chappie, District 9 Neil Blomkamp fan. I hope Neil Blomkamp has a renaissance. $1.99. Zack Snyder or you, Bull? How dare you, Tony Movie? I
Zack Snyder.
I have issues with some of these recent movies, but you, Bull, come on, Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder. Uwe Boll has some funny, like unintentionally funny movies. You remember House of the Dead?
Oh my God! Yeah, Zack Snyder.
Yeah, no, Zack Snyder, bro.
Come on, this is the guy who directed Blood Rain. Ugh.
Blood Rain.
The real question is Zack Snyder or Neil Breen?
No.
Yeah.
Neil. Boy, you read my mind. Hold on,
Neil Breen for sure. No, I'm kidding. No.
I will pick Neil Breen.
Sorry if I'm yawning.
Gosh. But is there anything else you guys want to mention before we start?
Oh, the
going to
villain, the
grades?
real villain. The do it. Oh, man.
That's my biggest problem before you get to grades is the main villains that are still around are so generic. There's some really cool characters and designs. They prop them up and then they die in a very anticlimactic way.
You know who the actor is, right? That guy's from Hawkeye. Same actor.
What?
The actor who played the actor that said, "Do it, kill her." That guy's from Hawkeye. Remember Kazi from Hawkeye? From Hawkeye, remember Kazi? Who was Echo at the end? The person Echo killed. That's him.
Oh yeah. Well, he just that's supposed to be like the Emperor Palpatine type character.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Like above this other guy. This other guy did decent for what he was given for his role. Like he
Belisarius.
Is that name Belisarius?
The guy that was the guy that that was killed and then put wires in.
Oh,
what's his name?
Ed Screen.
Yeah.
I don't know his name in the movie. I literally cannot tell you his name in the movie.
You know why I laughed? You know why I laughed at this movie when Ed Screen got killed by Michael Hosman? You know why I laughed about? Because Game of Thrones, Ed Screen took Michael Hosman's character as Daenerys. They played the same character from Game of Thrones. Did you know that? Remember with Daenerys? Yeah,
I haven't watched Game of Thrones, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember that. There.
Well, I was one more thing I have to say is that sorry. No, it's just that the ending of the movie. This is supposed to be like one complete story. These two parts. The ending feels so anticlimactic, and it just feels like it's setting up for another film. And I feel like if this is like, unless they crowd the ending out for whatever dumb reason, I don't know. It's just the ending that doesn't make me feel satisfied. It's not a complete story. It's just like, well, tune next time for Red Moon Part 3.
You know what's funny about the ending? The princess is alive.
No, man.
Yeah, it's like it's like the princess, guys. It's like the princess is alive. Shouldn't Cora be like, "How do you know she's alive? Should you ask that instead of accepting it? Oh, she's alive? How do you know? Like there has to be a reason, right? She's alive. Just ask the question.
Who is this princess?
Yeah. Why is she alive?
Lisa, the little girl that got murdered in the first 20 minutes.
Why'd she glow when she got shot?
Why am I supposed?
How do you know?
Why am I supposed to care about this princess? Why am I supposed to care?
Because Cora cares.
What?
Why care about any princess?
No. And then, I don't know, man. It's just, it's hard for me to care about anything in this movie. Like they give it no motivation. You just throwing stuff in the story, and it's like you're expecting me to care. It's like this melodramatic BS. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't like that
No,
about the I don't like that about the marketing either, because they put all this rock and roll music and stuff like that for the action scenes, but then in the
Yeah.
movie it's just like, oh, like it's all sad. It's like, come on, man, give me some of
sad,
that Snyder
melodramatic.
rock and
Oh,
roll.
Gunner died. I love
yeah.
you,
Whoever,
Gunner, but you died. You died. I'm
yeah,
so
I'm having a
sad.
lot of
I don't
problems with
care.
trailers lately.
yeah, whoever made that trailer that made it as badass as it was,
Yeah.
you did your job of manipulating me. I think it was going to be a kick-ass movie. Instead, I got the opposite. I mean, it was kick-ass the last act, but like the first hour was just a slog to get through. But
Seriously was. And with that being said, I think it is time to wrap things up. So yeah, I'm going from the get go. I'm just gonna show it right now. Rebel Moon, the Scargiver. I'm giving this movie it's a D. It's a D. I can't do this, man. I'm
That's
so
too nice.
disappointed.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
so disappointed. It's like it did not. It did. If in my opinion, it didn't improve on that much from part one. Um, I don't care about any of the characters. There's so much stuff that feels derivative of other things, and it's okay to be derivative, but they don't do it in a way that's creative. It just feels like it's just going through the motions. The action scenes, yeah, there were some cool action scenes here and there, but there's so much of the slow motion and the weird cinematography that, like, I know Snyder is better than this. With at least with the action scenes, he's done better than this. It's like the writing is bad. The writing is bad. Zack should not be writing by himself anymore. Um, this did not get me excited for this Rebel Moon universe. I don't care to see part 3. I don't even know if I care to see the director's cut. I probably will watch it to review it if people want me to. But it's just like I don't care about this Rebel Moon universe. It's like really bad start. Really bad start. And it's just like this could have been something great. This could have been something amazing. But it's just I'm so frustrated. This is Zack Snyder's worst film in my opinion. And I hate to say that because I'm a Snyder fan. But this is the film I don't want to watch again. I don't want to watch part 1 again. I halfway don't want to see the director's cut. I don't care about part 3. I don't care about the other 5 films he's trying to do for this movie, this franchise, and he's going to do everything by himself. I don't care.
Would you do a review of director's cut?
I'll join you. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
I just saw him die inside.
I don't want to, but I will give it one more shot with the director's cut. That's the one last shot.
Okay.
After that, I'm done. I can't.
Okay.
I just if it doesn't improve with the director's cut, I don't care to see anything else from this Rebel Moon universe. That's his last chance. It really is. But I really shouldn't be even giving him this chance. But I'll watch the director's cut. I will review it. But anyway, well, what would you get? Well, you give it to Ladia.
For me, it'd be a B minus.
Okay, well, go ahead and read the super chat, Max. If you want.
Oh, I didn't even realize that one came in. Tony Movie Chappie District 9, Neil Blomkamp fan, 1999. U Bull wanted to get the right to make a Warcraft, but failed to get the rights. But he claimed that his version would have been better. And it, like, does this dude not realize the terrible video game movies he's made? No, I don't think he does. I actually
No,
enjoyed
he fought
the
people that
Warcraft
thought
movie.
otherwise.
I think there was a good start, and I wish they would have continued. That was actually David Bowie's son that directed that.
Oh, okay.
I believe. Duncan
Jones, I think.
Duncan Jones that directed the Warcraft movie. I liked what they set up. But yeah, I'm glad it wasn't U Bowl.
Or was it Duncan Jones?
Tony, are you a U Bowl fan? You keep bringing him up. I might get some of his on VHS. I don't know.
yeah, we'll see. Can I say? Can I can my
You can
final
go
thoughts
next.
on them?
You can go to the final score and all that. Yeah. Blue Jay.
Ladia's a B minus. To let everybody. know.
Okay, so yeah, I think I back on the Rebel Moon on the first stream for the first movie. I gave it a 4. I gave it a 4. The first movie. It was very pretty much a 2-hour movie of just put together this crew to stop this evil galactic empire thing to save their home. That's just kind of it, and it was just nothing but exposition. But this one, it's about on the same level, but a little. It's better or worse. It's this weird combination of like, what? How do you like? How do I feel? Like it's just so weird. I can't even say it. The first half is it's really slow. It's just no, like literally slow, literally fucking slow motion at the wazoo. Like it's just like we get it. You want to see these guys work, but I don't want to see that. That's not boring. Like oh my gosh, everybody doing this. No, I'm not here for that. I'm here to see blasters, not farming. This is not the DIY network. But other than that, the action is awesome. I think the action is pretty. It's what pretty saves the movie. Not entirely. There is just some things that just logically it doesn't make any fucking sense. I like Korra, but some of the characters I can do without. I like Jaimin Hansu. He was great, but I didn't give a fuck about his
He was
kid.
a star compared what he was given. He really made it shine.
Well, he performance wise is good. Like performance wise was good, but character wise, I just don't really care. That's the thing. There's just so chop. That's I don't know. I don't even get me started on that. But it's just so hard for me to really think because I like Zack Snyder, but like I said, I don't love him. I don't hate him. I'm just don't have this I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna have this. Not saying utility. This unhealthy love infatuation of him. I'm not saying utility. It's just some people on Twitter.
I'm just a genuine dude, so
I know. No, you're an awesome dude. Not that's that. It's just if he keeps doing if we're gonna get more of this, we better fucking not be doing this sacks. If we get a Rebel Moon 3 in every single movie, it's just a hack job version, then we get an extended version, a hack job version, then an extended version. It's just gonna be like I got somewhere to go. I'm
that's the other
out.
thing too. Like if we get part 3, is it going to be another PG-13?
Like, dude, we don't need that shit. Please stop. We got to stop. I'm so tired of Zach doing this. I'm so tired of it. Like, man, it's just you're on Netflix. You do whatever you want. But anyway, so
Netflix is usually harsh, though. Netflix is harsh, though. They're
like, I don't like to be mean to movies sometimes, but like this and Madam Web, or like I've seen 2024 pretty kind of not so great so far. Well, pretty mid to not so great. Madden Web takes the cake for me. This is on that same fucking level, and I will say it's a 3. It's a 3.
What's a 3?
Pretty bad. Pretty bad. I'm on the same level as you, so I'm just waiting for Zach to do something different. I mean, if he actually sticks to his word and just make his own movie, not make no chopped up version. Okay, I'll probably watch more Rebel Moon stuff. But if we keep getting more of the same thing, it's like a cycle. I'm out. So that's it.
I guess Perp disappeared too. So I guess we'll go to
really?
Aaron.
Me? I did not like this movie. This movie to me was a tale of two movies. 1 hour is all about talking, all this backstory, some stuff that makes sense. These villagers all of a sudden accepted these people based on one day, and they gave them like whatever. Not enough character. I mean, they tried to do some character development. They try to fast track character development slow motion wise in 10 minutes, whatever, which each of the characters. So I'll get a lot of stuff didn't make sense. Did that villain, the overall villain, to do it, guy, do it, kill her. It sounds so cheesy. I mean, that's gonna be a meme. That's gonna be a meme. That should be a meme. That's hilarious. I'll say this. I agree with a lot of people. I think the action scenes were good. I think some of them were pretty decent, actually fine. But the logic of this movie, especially in the battle scenes at the ending, sorry, that village should have been wiped out. Because if that was real life, that village would never survive that onslaught. Okay, I know it's a movie; it's all supposed to be suspend of disbelief, but come on, you gotta make it a little realistic in that sense. There's no force, there's no Jedi force there. There's no Jedi there to help you take them down, right? Take them on, right? I think there will
But they
be part
trained for
3.
2 days, man. They trained for 2 days.
I think there will be part 3, but I don't think Zach is gonna get 6 movies. I don't think Zach's gonna get 6 movies out of this, because the new guy in charge.
He built up the universe. If he has if he has the group together already,
this is Netflix, man.
Right to the action, and might be the next one might be really good.
Yeah,
I could see there's something to build off here. It's just the main villain.
Netflix is harsh. Netflix, if something is not working and it's not being positively received,
I don't know where everyone is saying that it's not succeeding view wise though. I know perception. I am not under any delusions. It's getting trashed with perception, but people around the world are still watching this. It's still getting a lot of views on Netflix. So I don't honestly, would Netflix like a well-rated movie and the views? Absolutely. But I think they're happy to just get the views.
A lot of bad movies. A lot of movies go on streaming services that don't get well received in movies. Get a lot of attention on streaming service. It's not anything It's not anything special, and I don't think it's going to be 6 movies. I don't think it's going to get 6 movies. I think it'll finish. I think it'll just let him to finish the trilogy, and that's it. Because I know the new guy, Dennis Lin, is not a Zack Snyder fan. He's not a Zack Snyder fan. He said in his interview he's not a Zack Snyder fan. So that doesn't go well for him. And Netflix is harsh with their stuff. They're very harsh. Remember, they didn't announce this. The Witcher, they said it was going to go 7 seasons. They're ending with 5 seasons. That's how harsh they are.
Well, that's a different circumstance.
Yeah, it is. I agree.
That's a whole different.
That really put a big thing into the whole
spanners in the work. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Tony Movie. If it's all right, DL.
So, what do I give it, DL?
After
I'll give it a D.
You didn't give it a grade.
A D. I'll give it a D. What did I give one?
Were you
I'm going to be
on the first movie, Aaron?
I don't remember.
Well, let's cover this before the next person gets it. That's all right.
Think
So, Tony Movie Chappie, District 9 Neil Blomkamp fan, $9.99. You think that now Dan Lin is in charge at Netflix, it's going to be hard for Snyder to get Rebel Moon Part 3 greenlit, especially how Part 1 and 2 were received? As long as the numbers and retention are there, I don't think there's going to be any issue getting Part 3. If the retention, if there's a part of Part 2 where people just stop watching, like our pal Brian, he's like, I saw the part where, like you were saying, shooter, and I didn't even finish the movie. If there's a strong drop-off, that's going to be bad for Snyder. Even more so than, that's my opinion, even more so than bad reception, is if people don't retain that. Look like at the strikes that they came out. That was one of the big things that they were bringing is viewer retention. You have to retain your viewer up to a certain time. So I think we're going to have Part 3 unless there's a strong drop-off. Or if the extended cuts come out like a wet fart and no one watches it.
If Part 3 is really, really bad, they're not going to he's not going to have the 6 movies.
Yeah, of course. If it gets worse and the viewership, it depends if there's an audience, I guess.
Yeah. So let's see what other people have to say.
Bradley, final thoughts and grade.
Honestly, like I said earlier, I think this is just another run-of-the-mill generic attempt at a sci-fi film from another director obsessed with sci-fi, but clearly doesn't know how to take original elements out of sci-fi and make them his own. But he takes thousands of others from films that aren't even sci-fi to films that are sci-fi, and somehow makes a mockery out of the tropes that he attributes into his films, into these films specifically. I honestly give it an F. I can honestly say this with like a ton of passion. I had more fun watching the piece of shit that Madam Web was than I had watching these two films back to back. They're both bad films, but I had more of an entertaining time watching Madam Web. I was more baffled by Madam Web in a more entertaining fashion than this. I was just like, what is happening? What is going on? Who greenlit these films? Who sat there in an editing bay and approved of these shots and of
you know what? Did you get more entertainment out of if you take on the responsibility, great power will come to you?
I laughed my ass off when they said that. Yeah. I even laughed my ass off when Mike Epps dies after 2 minutes of knowing who he is, and all I know about him is that he flips burgers. That's all I know.
Flips burgers, and he's their boss, superior. That's all we know.
He's like,
he has like
But yeah, that's just my honest final
He's always
thoughts.
have a bigger role in the movie. He's there for 5 minutes. Mike Epps dies.
I will say, like, I don't want to spend any more of my life talking about Rebel Moon. I don't know if I want to watch the director's cuts. I don't think it's enough to save what's little of these films that are as appealing, which is very, very minuscule. And that comes down to set design and stuff like that. Not even story. But yeah, that's my rating. That's my final thoughts.
Okay. All right. Last but not least, Max.
Oh boy, here we go.
I was underwhelmed. I think there are really cool, interesting aspects in there. I actually think there's some really cool characters. I think the main story focused on the wrong characters. Like I would have totally. Can you imagine if we got the Blood Axe storyline and got it from their point of view? Oh my! And maybe that will be in the extended cut. And then the scene that really killed me is they made Nemesis really interesting, and then her scene where if they're gonna take you out, make it a badass scene. Like you introduced us to her when she was fighting some weird Spider Woman centaur thing, but she was so you introduced her there, but she gets taken out with a bunch of stormtroopers in a shed. It's this weird decisions there that I don't get. Core was cool. The villain that's in these first two movies, I actually think he's more interesting than the Belisarius that told her to shoot. Of course, we don't have all that yet.
Do it.
Towards the end, I was starting to really feel towards the end, like the spaceship scenes and the battles in space that he was showing were actually filmed really decent, and the special effects were cool. So I think there's interesting things here. I gotta be, even as a fan of his, I can't give this a good score. It's not a 10, it's not a 9. Like I'm going out of 10, and then I guess you'll give the grade. I think I actually gave the first one a 7 because I thought it had promise.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of like parts of this better than the first one, but I took it down a score because it didn't fulfill the promises set up in the first to me. So I'd say 6 out of 10. What is that as letter grade?
It's like a C. Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
I think
barely above average because there's some interesting ideas in there.
How can you sleep at night, Max, with giving it a B? How can you do that?
I could sleep fine at night. I will watch it again too. Like now that I know the expectations, I started to rewatch the first one. I enjoyed it more the second time. It's not like, oh, people that don't like it, you're missing some masterpiece. No, I just enjoyed it more the second time because I didn't have the
you just don't get it, man.
No,
you just don't get it, bro.
The expectations were gone. I knew what it was exactly, so I enjoyed it more the second time watching the first part. so I'm gonna rewatch the second part too. And I am looking forward to the extended cuts, but I'm not expecting much. I am expecting at least like the Blood Axe storyline. There would be something really cool in there that we didn't get to see in these two parts. Because if they, I will do a rant video if they do the extended cuts, and that is really all we got of Ray Fisher's Blood Axe. What the fuck are you thinking, Zach?
The less Ray Fisher, the better.
Language.
I'm sorry. What the f were you thinking if we don't get because Ray and I see Ray Fisher. I know people don't like his Twitter activity or that he went
We're
after
cursing throughout
Hamada.
this entire stream.
Yeah.
I know. Let it all out, Max. Let it all out.
But he is ripped too. Did you see his current physique? Like he is. It makes me upset too because he's out of DC now. But like that whole situation, as said it was he really's taken up the task of working on his physique and everything. He's a good actor as well. He has a lot of screen presence.
He might be ripped. He might be ripped, but what about that career though?
Right, Bradley. I can remove the art from the artist when he kept going on Twitter. I'm still a fan of his, but he went too far on Twitter. I'm like, oh God, come on.
I agree. Yeah.
But if I remove the art from the artist, he's a damn good actor. He's got amazing physicality and presence and charismatic when he's on screen.
I think he's good in True Detective season 3.
Yeah,
but that's pretty much all I've really seen him in outside of Justice League.
So
I thought he was decent in that.
I could still be a fan of his. Honestly, that's how I treat most people in the entertainment industry now. I remove the art from the artist. Well, what do you deliver? As long as they're not committing any crimes. Lots of people are cringy on the internet, including some of my friends right here on the panel. Everyone is. I don't care as long as you're. I'm cringy too. I'm cringy too.
Except for me. I mean, I'm the less cringy of the
Hey, I'm the less. Hey,
Oh,
I'm the
really,
less
Mister?
cringy
I
one.
love mud flapping skids.
So did you
I'm
hear what Brian
the-
said? I was stroking a 6 the other day. He's like, "You're really stretching that 6." I'm like, "No, it's a 6. It's not a dumpster fire. Like I've seen Catwoman is the dumpster fire."
I think DL gave it a 6. I think you gave the first one a 6, DL. I think you did. Yeah, you did. You gave the first film a 6.
I'm the less cringy one.
I did give it a 6. However, it's lowered for me now after this movie. It's a C- now.
Because it had a good setup in the first one, but it was just like more setup. Right.
Yeah. Like there's not enough paying for that. But those are our thoughts on Rebel Moon Part 2, the Scargiver, our heated rant, heated debate. Tell us, what did you guys think about it? If you guys have watched it, did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys think it was okay? Is this better than the first one? Are you guys excited for sequels? Are you excited for the director's cut?
Is this Snyder's best movie?
Or is it Snyder's worst movie? Or is it somewhere in between?
Put your thoughts in the comment section below.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, I'm glad. I hope you guys are happy. You guys asked for this, and this is what you got. If you guys enjoyed this stream, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to subscribe to these handsome gentlemen over here. Subscribe to Teladia Plays. Subscribe to Aaron World Order. Bradley doesn't have his YouTube channel yet, but when he does,
I do have
subscribe to that, man. Oh, go ahead. Plug your stuff. Plug it.
I did. It's under my name. It's called Compatible Cinema. Pretty soon, maybe in May, the good old DL and maybe some other big fans of Godzilla will join me in talking about some Godzilla films. So yeah, that'll be fun.
Ooh,
Absolutely.
I want to join.
Yes, it will.
All right, and
Cool.
subscribe to
subscribe to Movie Madness Entertainment and subscribe to Blue
Cinema. Blue Cinema. Tomorrow I will be doing me and Perp and we're doing a Michael Bay tier list stream just to make Perp happy. And DL, if you're going to join and have a unique perspective on Bay, you were so happy to join. It'll be a very
Oh
fun
boy.
and civilized conversation, just like this stream was.
Oh yes. Yes, it was. Yes, it will be. But
8:30 to 8:30 tomorrow.
Okay.
8:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah,
But
Easter.
yes. But that is all we have for you, Snyder Bros and Snyder haters and everybody in between. And we will see you guys
You can't
next
you
time.
can't leave it right with 20 seconds before 2 hours.
Well, no, it doesn't matter. He's got an outro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Whose show is this? Whose show is
I'm
this?
sorry,
It's
yeah,
mine.
I'm
Thank you
sorry.
very much. Even though it practically will go to. It's fine, but we're about to go to 2 hours anyway. But anyway, see you guys later. Talk to you guys later. Mama.